Hey guys, what is up? Jeff here for One Fish, Two Fish. Today we are going to do another edition of our One Fish, Two Fish Explains. Today we actually have a request video that we are going to hopefully be able to shed a little light on. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a great light because the situation that we're going to talk about sort of sucks regardless. Today we're going to talk about fish medication in Canada. Now, this is only in Canada because if you are in the United States, you certainly do not have the issues we have in getting fish medications. A lot of the stuff that we are used to using, API had a bunch of stuff, CChem had a bunch of stuff. There was a bunch of different things available for medications back in the day that we used to be able to use. Most things you could just buy off the shelves. For whatever reason, there is a bunch of different things that they have told us why they did it. But Health Canada has stepped in and basically taken 95% of all medications off of the market. Now, there still are some things, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk about a couple of different things that you guys can use, that you guys can find. I'll tell you a couple of options that I have heard people use, and then I will tell you a very good one that seems ridiculous, but depending on your local fish store, you may be able to talk to them and get something worked out sort of much easier than you'd be able to do it on your own. And actually, let's just start with that one. What we were told back in the day when all this started is that you had to basically bring your fish to a vet, which sounds insane. I know where I actually live, the vet that was there, that was dealing with all this stuff, used to call us all the time, asking us different questions about different fish diseases, which is tricky. But the advantage to it is they did have access to almost all of the medications in some degree for most of the problems that you do need for your fish. So if you're looking for something, if you know what the disease is, that is the biggest. That's the biggest start. If you know exactly what it is, I would bet you more often than not, if you go to your local fish store, they will probably know a veterinarian in their area. And now, if you don't know that, it's very unfortunate because it is going to be tricky for you. I am going to give you a couple of other I don't want to say tips or tricks because they're not things that we've done or tried, but they're things that I know I have heard people talk about. People have messaged us if they're not able to sort of get what they're looking for, and the cost is probably going to be a little bit lower on it. It's ridiculous that it works, but some of it does. Anyway, the veterinarian is probably your best bet. I know where our store is in Nova Scotia. We actually have a veterinarian that we know that you can call them and you can show them. You don't need to actually bring in your fish. And I know that there are some that you do actually need to bring your fish in. They need to look at the fish, they need to diagnose the fish and all that. That is very tricky, especially on a fish that is sick. As you guys know, or if you don't know, stress is what kills fish much more often than not. Most diseases, if you catch them quick enough, if you start treating them quick enough, the fish can get through it. The fish can usually get through most of the medications. I don't want to say easy, but easy enough. If you do it the proper way, if you follow the instructions directly, you can get rid of most diseases and it not be the end of the world for you. Ick is obviously the biggest one. Ick is easily, it's the easiest disease to fight. There are different things that you can still buy in Canada right now that will help with it. A lot of people will just pump up the heat and use aquarium salt and find success with it. Ick is not that big of a deal. For diseases, if you're going to get one, ick is the one you want. Salt water now, it is a little trickier because it does take more time. It is trickier to get the actual medications to take care of ick. For salt water, especially in Canada, my belief for ick in Canada, there are a bunch of sort of over-the-counter things that say they work. We have tried a handful of them to no real true luck, if I'm being honest. Copper, it does work. It will kill ick if you use it properly. Hyposalinity. I know a handful of guys that live by that. Always say it doesn't hurt the fish at all if you do it the proper way. Now, the thing with hyposalinity is taking your time to do it, catching it right away. Another really easy trick for saltwater stuff, a freshwater dip. And again, you do have to watch it. You have to make sure your fish are healthy enough to sustain that. But a freshwater dip will buy you some time. It isn't going to cure anything, but it will kind of set you back. If you're on stage 3, you know, maybe you can set yourself back to stage 2 and buy yourself a little bit of time to actually fix the problem, which is trying to get rid of the ick permanently. So a couple of tricks to do it. I know Amazon is a big one that I've been told people use, that they're able to, you know, to find stuff on Amazon and be able to get it shipped in, that they use. I know that there are some new stuff that they're being worked on. I'm told, now this is all hearsay, do not quote any of this. This is just this guy told this guy told this guy. So I'm told that CChem is working on, you know, doing the proper things that they need to do to be able to. CChem had a great line of stuff. You know, their Metroplex and their Canaplex and their Focus. Just those three, having those three back would be very beneficial. It was stuff you could put in frozen food. It worked very well. So even if we were able to get those back, I think that would be a very big help to it. I'm told they're working on, you know, CChem is a massive company, so they're one of the ones that probably, if there is ways, and I don't want to say ways around it, but if there is ways to do it properly, hopefully they will find them and they will be able to put their proper products back on the market, and however way that they have to do it, that's done right. So, so hopefully that is what will happen with that. The veterinarian will still have, like I said, access to, you know, Canaplex, Metroplex, ProziPro. They will have access to something that will do, if not that direct, they will have something accessible that's very similar. Now the problem with that is going to be your cost, of course. You know, through a vet, you're not going to get it. I believe back in the day, don't, again, quote these prices. Now, and again, this is pre everything tripling in price and all that stuff, but back in the day, you could buy a little thing of Canaplex, a little thing of Metroplex and Focus for like 14 bucks, 16 bucks in that range. You know, you're probably going to pay like $50 to get it from a vet. So, you know, again, if you're keeping the fish, the cost shouldn't be an issue. But I do know that when you have a sick beta, it is very tricky when somebody says to fix your $10 fish, it's $75. I know that sucks. I know the cost of it obviously, you know, does come into play for some people, and when the cost is 10 times more than the fish cost, you know, that does suck. We obviously say fix them, and we try to do some stuff here for the stuff that we use. We have a very good kind of herbal blend. Again, it doesn't, for the most part, anything herbal, we find it doesn't cure the problem 100% of the time. Usually it will buy you time. Same with a freshwater dip. There are lots of tips, tricks, lots of different stuff that you can look online. You can Google, you can ask other reefers, you can jump on forums, you can jump on groups and ask what people are using. Usually somebody will know the vet in the area that will deal with this. In our area, I only know of one that knows fish, and if you say, you know, I have ick, or I have black ick, or I have whatever disease you're looking, if you say what it's called, usually they're able to help you. And to the point of, at this point, they've been doing it a while now, if you say I have you know, this bacterial disease, they kind of know what to recommend for it. So that is starting to help, but like I said, there is no really good answer, unfortunately, right now. The vet will have most of it. You're going to pay a premium for it. Amazon, I know you can find some stuff. Just beware when you're trying to bring it in, if you are buying it off of an American, if you're buying it off of a .com instead of a .ca, if it goes through customs, get looked at, it's not going to get shipped through for sure, and you're just going to waste your money. But the first thing to ask is to jump on a couple groups and say, I'm dealing with this, what are you guys using? Just understanding what you have, the time frame you have, that is the biggest thing. Do not wait until it gets bad. If you see ick, fix it. You know, pump up the temperature, add some aquarium salt, and see where you go. A lot of the time, you'll get that to fix your problem. If you have like a bacterial disease, you know, find out first things what's causing your problem. And there's always some, like with bacterial stuff, really clean water will help a bacterial disease. I don't want to say instantly, but almost instantly. Very, very clean water, a very clean environment will help a lot of disease at least take a lot more time to attack your fish. A healthy fish can get through it a lot quicker than, or a lot better, sorry, than a weak fish that's not got a big fat belly. Always keep up your feeding, and I know that's counterproductive because the more you feed, the more they poop, the dirtier the water, and all that. But keep the tank as clean as possibly can. Really good food. Offer them a variety of food. There's some products now. Fish vitamins. Aquaforest makes one. I can't think off the top of my head, but there's certainly a couple of them. I think Brightwell makes one. There's a handful of them out there right now. Seacam makes one. That's something we've started to use in almost all of our frozen food. Because it really doesn't cost a lot to add. Once or twice a week, we'll give them a really good feeding, just filled up with vitamins. And we've noticed the ability to fatten them up a little bit. So anyway, guys, I'm going to give you a quick walk and tell you a couple of the things that we have here. Let me see. So guys, just off the top of my head, Cordon does make a couple of products that have been back re-released that they're able to kind of market again. Again, they're not, like say this one for example, Cordon Ick Attack. It is an ick treatment, but again, just remember, if it says on it that it is a herbal formula, it's just not going to be as strong. It's going to be a lot easier on your fish, which is great. It's always a good spot to start. We do have some Cordon products that will do some stuff. We have Super Tech still in stock. Again, a very herbal, all-natural. There's nothing bad in it. And Melifex is now back. API. API is actually also another company that I have been told they are actually working on sort of getting all their ducks in a row as well to be able to market this stuff again, to put it back out into Canada the way it was before. It's just a matter of basically getting it right, getting the paperwork right, getting the markings in the box right, and that sort of thing. Again, it's not the answer that you guys are hoping for. It's not a do this and you're okay. Sadly, there is no good answer to it right now. I'll be honest, there's no good answer for us. I know we've got a lot of people that say, you guys must have something. It's unfortunate. We really don't. We do have, some tricks that some suppliers have kind of passed on to us of what they do, and some kind of pre-med stuff that all of our fish go through on a quarantine. And it certainly helps. It does get rid of, 75% of the outbreaks we have. But fish disease is very common. It is not... wild-caught fish, half of the time when we bring in wild-caught fish, we've got to put them through something. That is why we have a huge quarantine system. You'll see we've done a full video on our whole quarantine system. There's a reason that we spent another almost $15,000 to set that up. It is just to limit. It is to do everything we can to get in front of it for you guys. But, the other thing is, and actually I'm very happy I thought about this because I forgot about it, the best way to get rid of all of this is to have a very small quarantine tank. If you have a freshwater tank, and I know this is a pain, I know a lot of people when they set up a tank, they don't realize, I don't want two, I want one. If you can have a small quarantine tank, you will eliminate so many more problems in your tank. It is the best defense to stop something from going into your system, especially saltwater guys. Now, saltwater guys are much more apt to have a quarantine tank because saltwater tanks just cost more money, and they are a lot trickier to fix some of the diseases, even ick. Most of the really good medications will kill everything in the tank except the fish. And most reef tanks, obviously you've got coral, you've got inverts, so a lot of the treatment is actually harder than the disease. So the easiest way to do it, guys, look, just a little promo here. You can get these tanks for like $75-80. Just a little 5-gallon plug-and-play tank. The Fluval Flex tanks. Little 9-gallon tanks, $150. 9-gallon tanks. Again, plug and play. For the most part, you need a heater. I think this one actually even comes with. It even comes with a little heater. Filter. Again, this is not. I've done videos on the tank kits before. I don't love a lot of them, but there are some tank kits that are decent. But if it's a quarantine tank, you just want it to be able to keep the water clean, keep the fish happy, give you even a couple weeks. Now, again, do your research on this. Find out what you're doing. Find out what you're trying to. Find out when it will show up. If you're looking at ick, if you're looking at bacteria, stuff like that, it shows up in different times. But if you can put it in even for 2 weeks, just to give you 2 weeks to look at it, it will give you a much better success rate going forward. Anyway, guys, I hope that shed a little bit of light on where you can get some medications, where you can find stuff. Again, your local fish store, you know, always reach out to them, because more often than not, they're going to know at least where you can get a lot of this stuff. I know we do here. Like I said, we've sent people to the vet lots of times because what they need we just can't get. So we send them there, they can buy it, and the price is up to them. If they want to buy it, they do. If they don't, they don't. But hopefully that will shed a little bit of light on where we get some of our stuff, and hopefully that'll help you guys out. There you go. That'll be it for now, and we'll see you in the next one.